Part 79. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 782. The entire hall was silent for a moment. Even Yin Yaonian was surprised. He did know clearly that Sci-fi's talent definitely didn't stop at transcendent a level. Bloodline is determined at birth, but this rule obviously does not hold true for Sci-fi. In the escapees database established by the Avengers, Ling Hanyi's evolver level is S. When high-level evolved people combine, they will either die when giving birth to a child due to the riot caused by the evolved abilities, or they will give birth to ordinary people or low-level evolved people. Those offspring that are successfully born with high blood purity are 90% likely to have a higher level than their parents. So, Qing has already broken through to S level? Yin Yaonian was overjoyed, but Yin Pingsheng and the elders were shocked. The great elder stood up excitedly, "Miss Fucking, has your bloodline evolved?" "Grandpa," Yin Yongzi laughed angrily, "how can bloodline evolve? Listen to her lying there." The great elder looked solemn. "Yun 11, don't be rude." Yin Yongzi's breath was stuck in his throat, neither rising nor falling, and his chest kept heaving with anger. Even her own grandfather was deceived by Sci-fi. She must take charge of the Yin family as soon as possible, clean up the family, and restore the previous peace to the Yin family. Yin Yongzi said coldly, "Okay, you said you are S-class, how can you prove it?" "I don't need to prove anything to you." Sci-fi stood up, "Don't we start running for the head of the family tomorrow? We will see the outcome on the field. What nonsense." She got up and left without looking back. Naturally, Yin Yaonian and Nian Yin also left the table together. In this case, Yun 11 and Fu Qing will participate in the election for the head of the family. Yin Pingsheng made the final decision. Everyone will be present tomorrow, and there will be a public vote. Especially you, don't oversleep. He emphatically named several juniors. Yin Yongzi's fists were clenching loudly. But it just couldn't happen. "Okay, let's break up the meeting," Yin Pingsheng finally said. "The future development of the Yin family is a matter for each of us, so don't slack off." The members came out of the hall, many talking to each other. "Who do you choose?" "I'm a little confused." "Of course I support Sister Fucking. I feel that Sister Fucking is really good to us. I don't know if it's just me who feels a little awkward every time I get along with Sister Yongzi, but I don't feel that way at all when chatting with Sister Fucking." "I have it too. But I have watched a lot of bloody online dramas recently. In the online dramas, this type of person is called White Lotus. By the way, the second round of The Heroine of the Kingdom is on the air today. Come to my yard. I bought a new projector." The boys and girls cheered and ran over. Yin Yongzi had a high bloodline and naturally had good ears, so he heard these words clearly. Her eyes darkened instantly. When she becomes the head of the Yin family, the first thing she will do is deal with the people who spoke ill of her behind her back. Things changed, but luckily she had a backup plan. This time the position of head of the family will only be hers. Afternoon. Evolutionary Alliance headquarters. "It's Miss Yongzi." The guard is familiar with Yin Yongzi. "There's no need to check the traffic order. You can just go in." Yin Yongzi smiled and said hello to the doorman, then walked in. She had no obstruction within the Evolutionary Alliance and soon arrived at the building where the Alliance leader was located. Yin Yongzi took the elevator to the top floor, came to the innermost door and knocked. "Uncle Kargs, are you there?" Kargas Shirwan, the current leader of the Evolutionary Alliance. An S-level evolver of the space system, he is over 50 years old this year. A majestic voice came from inside. "Here, Yun 11, come in." Yin Yongzi opened the door and entered. In front of the desk is a brown-haired middle-aged man with extraordinary imposing manner. He looked at Yin Yongzi and his eyes became kind. "Yongzi, what do you want from me?" "Uncle Kargs, it's like this. There were some surprises in the election for the head of the Yin family. Yin Yongzi whispered, originally, I was the only one who met the regulations, but the elders were biased and allowed another member to participate. Kagas frowned and said, what's going on? Uncle Kargs, I can handle it. Yin Yongzi smiled good-naturedly, I'm just asking you to do me a favor. You know I'm a healer and I'm not very strong in combat. I wonder if you have any armor I can borrow. Kargs pondered for a moment, okay, no problem. The Alliance just got 2 armors from the Intercontinental Research Institute last time, and I can lend them to you. Yin Yongzi's eyes lit up, thank you, Uncle Kagas. Yun 11, you were seriously injured last time, Kargs said with concern, there are still too few guards assigned. I will allocate more guards for you. You are the savior of our evolutionaries. Nothing can happen to you. He trained Yin Yongzi and waited for her evolver ability to reach a level where she could easily change genes. By that time, it would be possible to transform ordinary people into evolved beings. Yin Yongzi smiled again, thank you, Uncle Kagas. I invite you to come to the campaign site tomorrow to cheer me on. Of course, Kags agreed, I'll take Chris with me. You behave well. Yin Yongzi chatted with Kargs for a few more words before leaving with satisfaction. As soon as her front foot left, Chris arrived on the back foot. Young leader, is Miss Yin Yongzi different from before? The guard captain was a little confused, why do you feel like a different person? Hearing these words, Chris raised his head and took another look at Yin Yongzi, why is it different? It feels a bit hard to describe. The guard captain scratched his head, maybe I feel wrong. Chris didn't care, well, I'm going to report the recent affairs to my father. The next day. At 7 o'clock, the direct members of the Yin family had already gathered at the martial arts training ground. Nian Yin sat on the chair, still holding the newly assigned homework for yesterday's class in his hand. On the other side, Sci-fi had already pulled up his hat and fell asleep leaning on the chair. Nian Yin glanced at him resentfully and continued to do his homework. The Supreme Elder, Alliance Leader Kargs and Young Alliance Leader Chris are here, the housekeeper suddenly came in a hurry to report, with a somewhat surprised look on his face. The leader is here. Yin Pingsheng was stunned, quick, prepare your position. Today is still the contest between the candidates. Why did the Evolvers Alliance suddenly show up? The guards had just added 2 more chairs, and Kargs had already arrived with Chris. Yin Pingsheng immediately stood up and said very respectfully, Alliance Leader. Kagas waved his hand, you're welcome, I should call you Elder. He sat down at the front seat, and the atmosphere seemed to be quite tense. Chris was on his right side and subconsciously looked at Sci-fi first. Sci-fi was sleeping on a chair, with her hat covering half of her face, only revealing her flawless chin. But her face is so famous. Even in the world of evolvers, there is no shortage of her billboards on the road. Kagas smiled and asked, this is the daughter of Yin Baikan of the Yin family you said last time? Why didn't you report it earlier? Sorry, Father, Chris said respectfully, you have been recovering from your injuries, so I didn't bother you before. Well, I don't blame you, that's Yin Baikan. Kagas couldn't help but sigh, he is the most talented person in his father's generation. What a pity. Genius will certainly be sought after. It's a crime to have a jade. Geniuses also experience more pressure and persecution. Kagas was still the young leader at the time and could not forget the tragedy of the Yin family. More than 20 years ago, the Yin family's overall strength was no weaker than that of the Evolutionary Alliance, but they were still tortured to the point of being unable to resist. If those people also angered the Evolutionary Alliance, the consequences would be disastrous. So in these years, after Kagas became the leader of the Alliance, he intentionally or unintentionally marginalized the Yin family. The Yin family wanted to choose the next head of the family, so he naturally gave his full support to Yin Yongzi. Everyone is here, can we start? Kargs glanced at the time, Of course, more attention needs to be paid to choosing the head of the family. On the other hand, Yin Yongzi would not sleep before an important written test like SI fucking. Yes, Alliance leader Yin Pingsheng said, candidates are invited to enter. SI fucking stretched, rubbed his face, stood up, and walked towards the center of the training ground. Yin Yongzi enters from the right. When she appeared in everyone's sight, many people exclaimed. Wearing silver armor, she looked invulnerable. Yin Yaonian spoke in a cold voice, aren't the family masters competing to compare the strength of the evolvers? When can we still rely on equipment? This was the first time in his life that Yin had seen such a posture. Just as he was about to speak, he was interrupted by Kargs with a smile, technology is becoming more and more advanced now. It will be impossible for evolvers to be separated from technology in the future. I think this is good. Yongzi not only has super high healing ability, but also has self-protection and attack power. Brother Yaonian, what do you think? Yin Pingsheng stopped talking, which was regarded as acquiescence. Yin Yaonian smiled, it's good. At least this competition can be watched for a while. In the face of absolute strength, the armor is useless. Center of the field. Si fucking, this is the armor that Uncle Karg specially lent me. Yin Yongzi's eyes were cold and she said in a voice that only two people could hear, last time you attacked me sneakily, this time with so many people watching, you have no chance. Uncle said that your temperament has changed drastically. I thought something terrible had happened. Si fucking raised his eyebrows, it seems that you still think highly of yourself. You are the one who thinks so highly of yourself, Yin Yongzi sneered a little unbearably, you have no idea how powerful this armor system is. It can even detect your evolver ability. You are full of flaws in front of me. Really? Si fucking crossed his arms and looked at her calmly, then take action first and let me see what's going on. Yin Yongzi's eyes darkened, arrogant, that's as you wish. She activated the detection function of the armor. At the same time, the attack and defense systems are also fully activated. Si fucking still stood where he was, tapping his feet on the ground in a leisurely manner. Kagas glanced at her and said as if unintentionally, Yin Baikon's daughter is not as cautious as him. It is never a good thing to underestimate your enemy at any time. The future head of the Yin family also needs to be more cautious. Yin Pingsheng looked stern. The meaning of Kagas's words was that he only supported Yin Yongzi as the head of the Yin family. He pursed his lower lip, feeling somewhat shaken in his heart. At this time, Yin Yongzi had already launched an attack on Si fucking. But it was also at this moment, suddenly. The armor's alarm sounded in Yin Yongzi's ears. Failed to detect target evolver's ability. Failed to detect target evolver's ability. Failed to detect target evolver's ability. Yin Yongzi was stunned. Fail. What happened? She raised her head with some confusion and met Si fucking's always calm and indifferent gaze, and her heart skipped a beat. Suddenly, a very bad premonition came to mind. The following facts also proved Yin Yongzi's idea. Si fucking suddenly moved. She arrived in front of Yin Yongzi very quickly, and without any use of her evolver ability, she directly used violent means to remove Yin Yongzi's armor helmet. Clang! The helmet rolled away. Yin Yongzi's face was exposed to the air. Crack! Si fucking pinched her throat and smiled, does the dog bark again? It's a very fat chapter, with a lot of words, so it's not divided into chapters. Because I have to go to the hospital tomorrow morning and I'm afraid I won't be able to make it in time and make everyone wait too long. I stayed up late and finished writing it and updated it for everyone. In the last few days of the month, please vote for the super handsome Ching Ching. Your vote, my vote, send Yin Yongzi off the line completely. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 783. The entire training ground was silent. There was almost no sound of breathing. When the Yin family saw Yin Yongzi wearing battle armor, they couldn't help but feel worried for Sci-fucking. When the evolutionists appeared in this world and began to show abilities beyond ordinary people, technology has been looking for the power to restrain the evolutionaries. That's why the Eternal Academy and the Intercontinental Research Institute can restrain each other, and the two legs have worked hard to this day. Although the battle armor Yin Yongzi wears is not as powerful as the god-slaying machine specially designed for evolution, it still uses the same system. It is possible to analyze the evolutionary ability of the evolutionary, and then quickly evaluate a set of the most targeted attack and defense systems. In this way, unless the person fighting with him has extremely strong actual combat experience, he will only be suppressed. This further compressed the living space of the evolutionaries. Therefore, many evolutionists hate such technological means. But now, Sci-fucking raised his hand slowly, and Yin Yongzi's feet also left the ground. At the same moment, her other hand was still dismantling Yin Yongzi's armor parts in a very violent way. Shoulders, upper arms, forearms, calves and feet. All the hard armor protection was removed and scattered all over the place. The battle armor that the Evolutionary Alliance bought from the Intercontinental Research Institute at a high price is just so useless. And because it was forcibly removed by external force, Yin Yongzi let out a shrill scream as if his own organs had been stripped away. Off the field, the Yin family stood up excitedly. Sister fucking is amazing. It's so handsome. Sister fucking taught me how to deal with this kind of armor. In case we meet in the future when we go out, we can also have the ability to protect ourselves. I hate this kind of battle armor the most, but I haven't beaten sister fucking with the battle armor yet, huh? Yin Yaonian smiled faintly. If you have equipment, you must know how to use it. Otherwise, even the strongest equipment will become scrap iron in the hands of useless people, right? Yin Pingsheng was also so shocked that he lost his voice. Fucking strength is really S-level, right? What is her evolutionary ability? With such a strong strength, could it be possible to toughen one's body? Yin Yaonian was non-committal. His niece's ability to evolve is ever-changing. Whatever you think about is what you want. This is also the question Yin Yongzi wanted to ask. Her brain was buzzing, and blood was oozing from her ears and the corners of her mouth. But the physical pain was far from suppressing the fear and doubt in her heart. Why can't the system detect Sci-fucking's evolutionary ability? After getting this set of armor from Cargos yesterday, she also conducted a special experiment. The armor system can even detect Cargos' evolutionary ability, so why is it ineffective against Sci-fucking? Scream. Sci-fucking raised his head, his voice was flat. Why didn't you scream? What did you just say? Yin Yongzi's eyes trembled. Oh, you seemed to say just now that with the suit of armor, I'm full of flaws in front of you. Sci-fucking chuckled. Well, there are quite a lot of flaws. Could she not understand the battle armor she participated in researching? It is true that the armor system does have the function of detecting the ability of an evolutionary, but she does not have a specific ability of an evolutionary. The system simply failed. After the failure, the armor will also be half paralyzed. Yin Yongzi completely relies on the battle armor. This is the biggest flaw. Sci-fucking raised his left hand, clenched it into a fist, and slammed it towards Yin Yongzi's abdomen. Boom! Yin Yongzi flew upside down and fell directly on a big tree in the distance. With a click, the big tree snapped. Yin Yongzi also spat out a mouthful of blood with a poof, and her face turned pale instantly. She couldn't catch her breath yet. Shua! Sci-fucking came in front of her again and punched again. Kags finally woke up like a dream, and shouted angrily, "Stop!" At the same time, he activated the evolutionary ability. However, in less than half a second, Sci-fucking did not stop. He punched it down again. Yin Yongzi spit out blood this time, and there were pieces of internal organs. Her eyes darkened, and she finally couldn't take it anymore, and passed out completely. Half a second later, Kags arrived. He protected Yin Yongzi in time. After quickly judging Yin Yongzi's injury, Cargos instantly became furious. "Can't you hear me telling you to stop?" Si stood where he was, unhurriedly took out a handkerchief from his pocket, and wiped the blood on his hands slowly. After tidying up her clothes again, she turned around and said, "I heard, how about it?" Yin Yaonian also rushed to Si side, and he looked at Cargos coldly. "Master Cargos, what do you mean? This is the Patriarch's election, do you want to intervene?" Cargos took a deep breath, and first ordered the guards to treat Yin Yongzi immediately, using the best medicine and equipment. Then he said with a cold expression, "Do you know the importance of Yun 11 to an evolutionary? Her evolutionary ability has already begun to evolve, and all diseases will become easy for her by then. Even if he could not control the Yin family through Yin Yongzi, he would absolutely not allow Yin Yongzi to be killed. This is a big hole card of the evolved alliance." Si sighed, "But I don't need it." Kag's eyes finally became dignified, and his eyes gradually sank. "It's too difficult to control. Rebellious. Compared with Yin Baikan back then, it was even worse. Even in the battle just now, he didn't see what Si evolutionary ability was. But not surprisingly, it should be some kind of ability of the power department. This is just the first round of the Yin family patriarch's election, right?" Kags managed to suppress his anger. "Is it because you know that you will definitely lose in the next election?" Hearing this sentence, Si finally looked straight at Cargos with great interest. "Defeated for sure." Yin Yaonian also frowned. "What does this mean?" Kags didn't speak. He waited quietly for Yin Yongzi to be out of danger, and then he breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Yin Yongzi was fine. Otherwise, even if he disregarded his status today, he would have killed Si. And this incident made him even more determined to help Yin Yongzi become the head of the Yin family. Otherwise, the Yin family will be completely out of his control. Yun 11 is still in a coma, and will not be able to carry out the next election for a while using the ability of the evolutionary. Kag's voice spread throughout the audience, "Let's vote first." Yin Pingshen looked at the members of the direct line who were already cheering around Si, and hesitated for a moment. "Leader Cargos, there is actually no need to." Before he finished speaking, his words were interrupted by Kags. "This seat is not referring to the internal vote of the Yin family, but the vote of the Evolutionary Alliance, Lotbar, and Deadwood." As soon as this sentence fell, the Yin family was shocked. "It's inevitable that you will be confused if you are a fan of the authorities," Kags explained. "With the election of the Evolved Alliance and the other two, the greatest fairness can be achieved." Yin Yaonian said coldly, "Who is the head of the Yin family has nothing to do with other forces." Cages was not angry, and smiled lightly. "The three major evolutionary families and the Evolutionary Alliance are originally one. How can this be said to be irrelevant? Only by working together can we develop together." Kags sat down again. "Let's start voting. I think Yun 11 will be a qualified patriarch. I like this child very much. The leader of the Evolved Alliance has said so, and the other high-level members of the Alliance, as well as the representatives of Lotbar and Deadwood, naturally also voted for Yin Yongzi along with him. All the direct members of the Yin family chose Si. But there is still a lot of difference in the number of people." Yin Yaonian's bones made a crackling sound, like a ferocious beast about to erupt. Kags smiled. "When you are in power, the first thing you need to look at is the aspirations of the people. Yun 11 has so many supporters, I think she deserves to be the head of the Yin family." Yin Pingshen never expected that the selection of the head of the Yin family this time would cause such a big commotion. But what Kags said does make a lot of sense. And the overall strength of the Yin family is not comparable to that of the Alliance of Evolvers. If Kags supports Yin Yongzi, the future of the Yin family will indeed be much smoother. Mrs. Yin also stood up at the right time, and said with a smile, Yun 11 was in Freedom Continent some time ago, and was favored by MRSU. It will be convenient for the Yin family to enter Freedom Continent in the future. After entering the Free State, as long as the blood reaches the A level, you can enter the Eternal Academy. Don't the children want to? Eternal Academy's enrollment rules for Free State and other continents are completely different. The threshold for entering the Eternal Academy outside the Free State will also be higher. This is also the reason why Odile and Kukaki Minjio are awe-inspiring. Kag seemed surprised and said, then the Yu family must also support Yun 11. Of course Madame Yin smiled, Madame Yu also likes Yun 11 very much. Network is also strength, and the head of the family cannot be without connections. Kags nodded, in this case, Youngzi won the vote here. He looked at Sci-fi, he was sure of victory. Ginger is naturally old and spicy. What if there is rebellion? Call someone, right? Sci-fi threw the phone away, then tapped the desktop, yes. The heart will not die until the Yellow River. Both updates are finished early. I will cross my waist. Is there any baby to see Gaijin today? If it is less than 100 votes, it will break 1,000, and if it breaks, add it. Everyone, one person, one vote is very fast, finish it today. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 784. Who doesn't have anyone to call? She has several little sisters. As soon as these words came out, Karg's smile froze for a moment. He suddenly had a bad premonition in his heart, and his voice deepened, what did you say? Sci-fi strength made him feel more fearful than ever before. Just like Yin Baikan more than 20 years ago. He had never experienced such a feeling with Odelia and Kukaki Minjio. Obviously, if Sci-fi becomes the head of the Yin family. With her rebellion, the Yin family will be completely out of his control. And based on the conflict between her and Yin Yongzi will definitely be eliminated. Neither the former nor the latter was something he wanted to see. Kagiz's expression gradually became serious. Isn't it said that connections are also part of strength? Sci-fi remained calm, you have to give me some time to make a few calls, right? She said, already dialing a number. The other party picked up quickly. Hello? Where are you? Yes, I have something urgent. Sci-fi said, I need you to bring some people over. How many people can you bring? Let me see. She narrowed her foxy eyes and glanced at the senior members of the Evolutionary Alliance brought by Kargs. The senior staff who caught her gaze couldn't help but flinch. Bring 50 with you, yes, the kind that have the right to speak. Sci-fi continued, that's enough, that's enough. I'll let Minjio bring the other half. On the phone, Odelia hummed, understood. Next, Sci-fi called Kukaki Minjio and asked her to help bring 50 people to the Yin family. The two eldest sisters plus 100 people are enough. Sci-fi put down the phone, my people are on the way. I didn't say the voting was over. Let's move on to the next campaign phase. The second part of the campaign focuses on the honor points and meritorious deeds gained by individuals in the Evolutionary Alliance. This also represents the successor's contribution to the world of evolvers. Yin Pingsheng was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief, since someone from Fuqing is coming, let's count the merits and honor points first. Karg's smile did not change, okay, let's go to the conference hall. He wanted to know who Sci-fi could invite. In the conference hall, the chief guard projected the Evolutionary Alliance's database on the big screen. Make sure there is no possibility of fraud. At this time, Yin Yongzi slowly woke up. She thought she was destined to lose, but she was overjoyed when she learned that Kargas had gained such a big advantage for her. It is true that she has been respectful to Kargas all these years and won his favor. Her efforts were not in vain. Yin Yongzi took a breath and his eyes became firm again. She started taking missions from the Evolutionary Alliance very early. With all her meritorious deeds and honor points added up over the years, she can still be ranked at the top. Sci-fi only returned to the Yin family last year. After all, she suffered a loss in time. Not to mention, her permanent residence is Daxia, and she only works on filming all day long. How can she have time to earn merit? On the big screen, Yin Yongzi's honor points and achievements were also displayed. Name, Yin Yongzi. No, S047. Honor points, 10,293. Merit, 1,621. Kagas smiled and said, Yongzi's honor points and merits are comparable to those of some veterans. You are still young and have better development. Yin Yongzi said weakly, thank you, leader. Chris remained silent. He frowned and looked at Kargas with a bit of scrutiny and a thoughtful expression. Miss Sci-fi's honor and meritorious service are dash. The guard captain paused, sorry, we can't find this person. If there is no such person, then it is 0. Kagas nodded, then this one is also Yun 11. Oh, I'm not called by this name in your system. Sci-fi held his chin and spoke slowly, interrupting Kagas, I have another name. Yin Yongzi was shocked, what nonsense are you talking about? Are you drunk? Sci-fi ignored her and said calmly, my name is 9, search it. The captain of the guard froze on the spot. Chris glanced at the guard captain, she said her name is 9. The guard captain woke up from a dream and immediately entered the 4 letters 9 and clicked to confirm. The big screen jumps at this moment. A new pop-up appears. Name, 9, Ling. Honor points, 19,203. Merit, 23,810. Having the symbol Ling behind the name means that you are a member of the Spirit Alliance. Both data exceeded Yin Yongzi. His merits even exceeded more than 10 times. Sci-fi nodded the table casually, yes, this is me. If you don't believe it, you can contact the Supernatural Bureau for proof. Kargas almost forgot that the Supernatural Administration was also connected to the Evolutionary Alliance system. But the name 9 has been registered for less than a year. In other words, Sci-fi made more contributions to the Evolvers and saved more people than Yin Yongzi in this year. Nian Yan muttered, you are still competing with my sister. During the battle at the Gate of the Dead, Sci-fi saved more than 100,000 people. Deathly silence. Yin Yongzi stared at the data comparison on the big screen, almost unable to believe her eyes. Boom. At this moment, the door of the conference hall was pushed open. The cold wind rushed in, and the woman was tall and imposing. She glanced around with sharp eyes, there are so many people, where is the meeting? A meeting of the Evolutionary Alliance. Why didn't you call me? Chris was surprised, Odelia? Why are you here? Oh, it seems that I'm not too late. Oglia sat down next to Sci-fi naturally and flipped her hair, I came here before Cookaki this time, so my speed is pretty good, right? Sci-fi raised his eyebrows, don't say that in front of her, or she'll beat you up. Ogilia spread her hands, then I have to hide behind you and push you out. I don't want to fight. Sci-fi gave her a cold look, am I your shield? Ogilia hit her shoulder with one hand and said slowly, how could it be? I ran here non-stop after receiving your call. Good sisters, loyal. Sci-fi nodded, where is the person I need? My father is taking him with him. Oglia arrived casually, he runs slower than me. Don't worry, he won't be able to walk. The two people's conversation without anyone around them caused the entire conference hall to fall into dead silence. Everyone in the Yin family, including Yin Pingsheng, was stunned. The ones who were most shocked were undoubtedly Yin Yongzi and Kargs, the leader of the Evolutionary Alliance. Yin Yongzi's complexion instantly turned pale. Oglia was very difficult to get in touch with, but Si fucking chatted and laughed with her happily. This is a treatment neither Kargs nor Chris and his son have. Even the head of the Lotbar family might not be able to get such a good look from her. Crack. The conference room door opened again. But this time it was not opened, but split with a sword. The woman held a long sword in her hand, and her expression was cold. The breath seems to be able to freeze 3 feet. Si fucking glanced at the broken door on the ground. In fact, she is not the most violent one, right? Cookaki, it's too violent. Oglia crossed her legs. You can't take it out on me just because you came later than me. Cookaki Minjio looked at her expressionlessly. I didn't even finish the copy before I came here. Si fucking choked, it's just a copy. I'll go back and take you to play games. Cookaki Minjio sheathed her sword and walked to Si fucking's side. She glanced at Nianyan but didn't speak yet. Nianyan suddenly stood up. Sister, sit down, you sit down. He picked up his homework and ran quickly to Yin Yaonian. Cookaki Minjio also sat down. The elder you want is responsible for bringing him over. He will be here soon. You are also a good sister, Si fucking said with a sincere expression. I will definitely give you the best equipment to play the oracle. Cookaki Minjio snorted lightly, and then noticed the other people in the conference hall. I haven't asked yet, what do you want people to do? Someone's reaching out too far and trying to interfere with the Yin family's affairs. Si fucking's foxy eyes narrowed. I'm broke, so I have to ask you to support me. Cookaki Minjio said, that hand really should be chopped off. Kagaz's expression also completely froze. Si fucking, Odelia and Cookaki Minjio sat together and could pick out dozens of kilograms of bone. How did the 3 of them get together? Huh. At this moment, Fred ran over panting, my daughter, you are leaving too fast, please wait for your father. Odelia sighed, father, it's time for you to lose weight. Fred. Here, the eldest elder of the Cookaki family also came with people. 104 people in total. Everyone voted for Si fucking. Yin Yongzi's votes were less than 1/3 of Si fucking's. Yin Yongzi swayed, I only have these votes. She cast her help-seeking eyes on Kargs, only to find that Kargs's expression was also shattered, unable to recover from the sudden reversal of the situation. That's not right. Oglia crossed her arms, you don't only have these votes, you won't get any votes. Yin Yongzi raised his head suddenly, his eyes red, you are just a captain, do you still want to overstep your authority and control the Evolutionary Alliance? By now, she had lost. Lost all 3 rounds. Do you have to embarrass her and lose even a little face? I don't care about the Evolutionary Alliance, but I am in charge of the Young Alliance. Oglia shrugged, didn't the Alliance leader always stay in seclusion this year due to injuries and ignore affairs? Are you listening to the Young Alliance leader now? Chris was stunned, huh? This is indeed the case. In the past few years, the authority of the Evolutionary Alliance has been gradually transferred to his hands. He never spoke because he failed to understand the reason why Kargs was suddenly keen to interfere with the Yin family's heir. Come, open your eyes and take a look. Oglia stepped forward, held Chris' shoulders, and turned his head over. Have you seen your real Bayu Egwang? I said it can be seen everywhere, but I didn't say wrong. Encountering similar things, Yinghuang, compared with connections. Goddess Si, compared with connections. I've finished writing this paragraph in the last 2 days, the double monthly ticket has almost exceeded 10,000. Everyone who has a monthly ticket, vote for Ching Ching, let her go up. Thank you very much for your support. The ending will not disappoint you. The comment area has posted physical pictures of the surrounding areas. Everyone can be happy. P.S. Everyone should know that I said that I would add updates even if they haven't arrived. This was the case for the first few times. I wrote the second update non-stop when I came back from the hospital. After writing the second update, I went to write the third update. I went there in the morning. I have been writing until now due to physical reasons in the hospital. How can I write more and I won't write less, unless my arm really hurts and I can't get up. However, it is very uncomfortable to be given 1 star and accused of being criticized after adding more updates. However, this book will not be updated a few times, and the writing will be slower in the final stage. P.S. The platform really deletes comments, and even swallows them. Yesterday, I was deleted and even posted a screenshot to prove it. Even my own off-topic remarks were swallowed several times. It's not like you didn't read it. I have been here. I hope everyone can understand that the contradiction is not between the author and the readers. Sometimes I don't know what comment was deleted and I look confused. However, I will definitely block every pirate who likes to point fingers and scold His Majesty Ching Ching. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 785. Odile also calmed down in a rare tone. I said that you are blind and should be treated, am I right? She came all the way and saw many billboards of Sci-fucking. Unless Chris is blind. Chris. When he realized that the person facing his head was Sci-fucking, his pupils shrank suddenly. Although Odile often hurt him, in fact, in the Evolved Alliance, the relationship between them is the closest. Because they were all saved by the same person in eternity. Just now Chris was still seriously thinking about why Odile, such an unreasonable and unforgiving violent person, would have a good conversation with Sci-fucking. He had already thought of this, but it was far less shocking than Odile's own admission. Chris let out a slow breath. It turned out that the certain familiarity he felt from Sci-fucking was not his illusion. It was impossible for Odilia to lie to him about such a thing. Chris' expression inevitably became agitated. He stood up abruptly, looked at Sci-fucking with burning eyes. You. Stop. Sci-fucking tactfully interrupted what he said next. Actually, I just thought you were in the way and saved it, so you don't need to thank me. What white moonlight? When the script came out, those who didn't know thought she was dead. Hearing this, Chris was a little dumbfounded. I know, when you rescued me, you said that I was in your way, but without you, I might really die. At that time, he had just turned 20, and he hadn't taken over the power to handle the affairs of the Evolved Alliance from Kags. Young and energetic. At that time, he entered eternity in the Abyss mode. At that time, he was seriously injured and dying, and he didn't even have the strength to log out of the game voluntarily. The girl suddenly appeared and pulled him back from the death line. He didn't see her appearance clearly, but he could barely judge her character from the 2 sentences she said to herself. She's a girl with a lot of personality. He has remembered for many years since then. It is true that when Chris mobilized his men to find someone, he deliberately beautified it. But after he saw the real person, he felt that all the beautification was nothing more than that. The chief guard said in surprise, it turns out that Miss Fucking is the Bayou Egwang of the Young Alliance leader. The Young Alliance leader has been looking for you for a long time. Sci-fucking. Yin Yaonian was also very surprised. Ching Ching has also saved the young leader. Sci-fucking rubbed his chin and said, I have saved a lot of people, and I can't remember. Kuchimu Minjaya pressed the Tiankanjiun sword on the table with a snap. At the same time, Sci-fucking seemed to be aware of some kind of deliberate killing sight. She immediately said with a serious expression, of course, I can remember all the beautiful girls. How could I not remember them? Girls are all gifts from heaven. Everyone. Yin Yongzi couldn't calm down at all. She has been in and out of the Evolved Alliance many times, and has heard countless versions of Chris's white moonlight. Good looks, good figure, high force, good medical skills. Chris has used all the good words to describe Miss White Moonlight. Yin Yongzi scoffed at this more than once. Where can someone be so perfect and powerful as to be like a god? Looking at Si fucking, Yin Yongzi's complexion turned paler. Even though her heart has been completely swallowed by jealousy, she has to admit that Si fucking seems to be such a perfect person. Basically nothing she doesn't know. How could this be? Si fucking has even won over the next patriarchs of Lotbar and Kukaki, plus Chris, she has no chance of winning. Chris has quickly calmed down the tumbling in his heart. He said lightly, the Evolved Alliance should not have interfered in the election of the head of the Yin family, but the matter has come to this point, and I have no choice but to vote. I vote for Miss Si fucking, what do you guys think? The 20 high-level executives who followed from the Evolved Alliance froze for a moment, and quickly agreed at random. Miss Fu Qing is the savior of the young leader, of course I support the young leader. At first I thought that Miss Yoon 11 still had better medical skills, but now it seems that my vision is narrow. That's right, the young leader's injury at that time, even the gods can't save him. In just 3 seconds, Yin Yongzi only had one vote from Kags. Boom. Kages slammed his hands on the table. He moved so much that he flipped the chair over. Even the other top executives of the Evolved Alliance have never seen cargoes so groggy. Kages said angrily, Chris, I handed over half of the authority to you, not to make you resist me at a critical moment. Father, you shouldn't interfere in who the Yin family chooses to be the head of the family. Chris looked at him without hesitation, not to mention that Miss Si saved my life, I would die without her, if you don't choose with me instead, she questioned me here. His gaze gradually sharpened, Father, what are you thinking? Kag's eyes flashed, and he clenched his fists calmly, obviously extremely angry. But his face softened, and he sighed, I watched this child Yongzi grow up, and I just felt pity for her. If that's the case, of course I should vote for Fu Qing as a father. So far, Yin Yongzi has no tickets left. Yin Yongzi's body trembled violently. Cold sweat rolled down her back layer by layer, soaking her clothes. It's over. This is the end. Congratulations, our two families can communicate more in the future. Odile put her arms around Si fucking's shoulders, my father also likes you very much. If you have something you like, just ask him for it. You're welcome. Fred. Is this really his biological daughter? Kukaki Minjio carried the Tiankanjiun sword behind her back again, and also showed a rare faint smile, after becoming the patriarch, remember to take me to make a copy. The elder of the Kukaki family. He finally found the reason why the eldest lady became an internet-addicted girl. It turned out to be here. The silent battle of several great gods ended. Yin Pingshen was finally able to catch his breath, and he said excitedly, from now on, fucking will be the head of the Yin family, and everyone must follow her arrangements to bring the Yin family back to its peak. The members of the direct line of the Yin family all got up and performed the ceremony of meeting the patriarch, greetings to the patriarch. The sound was loud. This is the patriarch that everyone in the Yin family believes in. A little girl asked pitifully, Sister fucking, you are the head of the family now, can I still call you that? Of course Si fucking patted her head, his tone light, you can call her whatever you want. The little girl's eyes brightened, well, sister fucking. Happy ending. After comforting the little girl, Si fucking raised his head and said slowly, according to my order, the Yin family will be cleaned from top to bottom. This time, Yin Yongzi joined forces with outsiders to interfere in the internal affairs of the Yin family, enforce the family law, come here, and lock him up. Yes, patriarch. The guards stepped forward and directly detained Yin Yongzi. Yin Yongzi panicked, I'm an S rank, or a direct descendant, what are you going to do? Can't you see that she intentionally avenged her private revenge? But no matter how hard she struggled, it was useless, and the guards didn't take pity on her. Yin Yongzi had no choice but to look at Cargos, Uncle Cargos, save me. I'm an S-level healer. In the end, she was gagged by the guards with cloth balls, and she was forcibly taken down. Kag's expression was gloomy. He didn't make a sound, and on the surface he was still smiling to congratulate the Yin family, but his eyes were full of murderous intent. Chris brooded for a while, he exhaled a breath, and was about to step forward. At this time, he saw that Sci-Fucking's fox eyes lit up all of a sudden, and his whole body was dyed with vivid colors. Hello? Ninth brother Sci-Fucking said, "Ah, you're here. Wait, I'll go out to pick you up." Before Chris could say a word, he saw that the girl had already run out, leaving only his back. "It's so tragic to lose love just after finding Bayu Egwang," Odile said behind his back slowly. "I sympathize with you." "Chris, actually, you don't have to talk to me. Leave him alone." Outside Yin's house, Sci-Fucking jumped down the steps. "Brother Ninth." Yuzian reached out to support her. "Is the matter over?" "Everything is settled." Sci-Fucking snapped his fingers. "It's a very simple matter." Yuzian rubbed her head and sighed softly. "I didn't ask for help either." But he was very happy to see that she was getting stronger and stronger, and her strength was recovering faster and faster. Sci-Fucking blinked. "Don't be jealous, I still need your help." "Huh?" Yuzian leaned forward slightly. "What's the plan?" Sci-Fucking looked into the distance, and smiled slightly. "I've become the head of the family, and I want to change the leader for fun. It's the last 2 days of the double monthly ticket, so please give me a ticket. It's almost over 10,000. Everyone voted for Ching Ching. Wow. I'm going to write the second update for you. It's still my style. I don't have any affectionate male second, because I am a protagonist control. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god." Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 786. Hearing what she said, Yuzian didn't show any surprise. He raised his hand to brush the fallen leaves from her hair, and wrote lightly, "Then change it." Sci-Fucking was thoughtful. "Ninth brother, do you want to be?" Yuzian said lightly, "Trouble." "I think so too." Sci-Fucking pondered. "Uncle doesn't like it either. Yin is still busy with homework, and I guess Aoao and Minjiao are not free either." In the end, she scanned all the candidates in her mind, then let Chris be. But the premise is that Bayu Egwang's remarks must be suppressed. She still needs face. Yuzian looked at her with a slight smile. "Is it planned?" "This is necessary." Sci-Fucking raised his eyebrows. "You go to my yard first, I have prepared tea for you." He just smiled, and said lightly, "Listen to the girl." Inside the conference hall, Fred, the head elder of the Cookaki family, and Yin Yaonian had a happy chat. Fred said with a smile, "Brother Baikan is blessed. I am really envious to have such a cute daughter with such extraordinary abilities." Speaking of this, he was a little sad. It's like his little padded jacket leaks air from time to time. Nian Yin. Wait, well behaved and cute? How many people has his sister given this illusion? The eldest elder of the Kuchimu family stroked his beard and sighed. "Missy has been telling me that if Miss Fucking hadn't saved her at that time, she might have passed away. The Cookaki family would not be able to repay this kindness. Whatever happens to the Yin family in the future, I, Cookaki's family, will not say anything else, and I will definitely do it." From the early days of the establishment of the 3 major evolutionary families, there has always been a competitive relationship of interests. Even if they are married to each other, in the final analysis it is because of interests. This is the first time that such a peaceful situation exists. Kag's complexion was cloudy and uncertain. From the first moment he saw Sci-Fucking, he felt that something was getting out of control. Until now, it was completely out of his control. Kage suppressed his rising anger, and said to Chris lightly, "The head of the Yin family has been selected, let's go." "Wait a minute." A rambling voice sounded. Cages frowned and looked up. Sci-fi went and returned. She walked in and closed the door of the conference room. Sci-fi nodded slightly. Since you haven't left yet, there is one thing I hope you will help me with. Fucking, tell me. Fred spoke first. Uncle will definitely help you. Although his little padded jacket is more airtight, but if there is no Sci-fi, he would have lost an airtight padded jacket. Odile smiled slightly. Father, I know you are slandering me in your heart. How could it be? Fred was anxious. Father is proud of you. Chris signaled the top executives of the Evolved Alliance to stop. Miss S.I., please speak. For the consideration of the Evolved Alliance, and also for the development of the three major families, Sci said slowly, I think the current leader should be replaced, and the young leader Chris should succeed. What do you guys think? As soon as the sentence came out, everyone couldn't help but change their expressions. Kags was even more astonished. He couldn't believe it. After Sci became the head of the Yin family, the first thing he did was turn against him. But there are such rules. As long as the heads of the three major evolutionary families agree, plus 2/3 of the high-level votes within the Evolutionary Alliance, the current leader can be deposed. Oh, change the leader? Yes, no problem. Fred didn't hesitate. I agree. The chief elder of the Cookaki family nodded. The Cookaki family seconded the proposal. Sci-fi tilted his head. Where is the young leader? Before Chris could speak, Kags roared angrily, you still want to drive a wedge between our father and son? Divorce. This time it was Odile who spoke. If I remember correctly, Chris has been running to my house and Cookaki's house for food since he was a child, with snot and tears, and you didn't bother him much. On the contrary, SISI saved his life. Where were you at that time? Chris smiled reluctantly. Odile, don't tell all my scandals. Odile comforted him. It's okay, I've seen you in crotch pants. Chris. He was not comforted. I agree. Chris took a deep breath. Father, your injury hasn't fully recovered yet, and I've basically been dealing with affairs alone this year, so it's not a bad thing for you to retire early. The veins on Kag's forehead twitched violently. Chris. Chris said gently, I will continue to take care of you, Father. And during this year, he also promoted his confidants. At this time, his confidants will only support him. More than 2/3 of the top leaders agreed to allow Chris to succeed early. The corners of Kag's eyes were bright red. He looked at SI suddenly, and the voice teacher squeezed out from between his teeth, you did it on purpose. The leader of the Evolved Alliance is an election system. SI smiled faintly, I acted according to the regulations, and did not violate any rules and regulations. At least it won't be like the previous leader, who thinks he has power, so he can intervene in the internal affairs of the evolutionary family. Kags never imagined that he would be overthrown by Sci-fi. He sneered, then you'd better be able to secure the position of the head of the Yin family. Don't forget, it was your father who killed dozens of people in the Yin family. Or, your Yin family has already forgotten, who made the Yin family fall to where it is today. Kag's majestic gaze swept over the direct members of the Yin family. Elder, I remember that your younger brother is here to protect Yin Baikan and Dai, don't you hate it? Yun 11 is your biological granddaughter. Don't you hate her for losing and being locked up? The elder's face darkened. I did make a promise before returning to the Yin family. I am Yin Baikan's daughter, and I will pay back the debts he owes. Si said in a calm voice, but my father was not at fault. The villain who played with Uncle. The great elder calmed down, his voice hoarse, that's right, no one in my Yin family is at fault. He hated it all these years. But as the head of the elders, how could he cause internal strife at such a critical moment? As the leader of the Evolved Alliance, why did Kags provoke him? The great elder's eyes sharpened instantly. As for Yun 11, if you make a mistake, you will be punished. I believe the patriarch will be fair and just. It's just that this is also an internal matter of my yin family. The former leader is not qualified to ask. Kags frowned. Did he know that the great elder was the one who hated the two brothers Yin Baikan and Yin Yeonayan the most? There is no rebellion? Sci-fi dumping is a good way. Recover the Yin family from top to bottom. Elders, I have also fulfilled half of the vow I made. I will make the enemies who tortured and killed the Yin family pay for it with blood. As I fucking said again, not long ago, I found the person who killed the Yin family. Group of people. As soon as these words came out, the great elder stood up abruptly. His voice trembled. Really, really? It's these people. As I fucking clicked on the computer and called up the photos, some faces were identified by my uncle. Elders, see if there are any familiar faces. The elder stared fixedly at the face of one of the elders. You can't go wrong. It was this man who killed his own brother more than 20 years ago. Even when he is old, he will never forget. The great elder clenched his fingers tightly. Excuse me, patriarch, are they all dead? Dead, as I fucking said softly. I will never be reborn forever. Okay, the great elder shouted loudly, good death. Suddenly, he burst into tears. Good death. The sourness in Yin Yeonayan's heart could not be stopped. Grand elder. These years, the Yin family has been burdened too heavily. The other Yin family members also recognized some people's faces one after another, and became emotional. Si fucking suddenly turned his head, and looked at Cargos indifferently with a pair of fox eyes. Why, don't these people know the former leader? Thank you for your support and votes. I am also quite rebellious. I can't take the soft but not the hard. I really couldn't hold on to my arms after 4 consecutive days. But the more you talk about me, the more I will strive for a monthly pass and add more to readers. There is still a change today, and in the last 2 days of November, everyone will have a monthly pass. It proves that someone voted for Ching Ching. I will write the 3rd update. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 787. A stone can start a 1,000-foot wave. As soon as the sentence came out, with a shua, everyone's eyes instantly focused on Cargos. Kags couldn't hold back the killing intent in his eyes for a moment. His expression froze on his face. What? Don't you know the former alliance leader? Si fucking raised his eyebrows, and his voice raised slightly. But aren't they your accomplices? Why, you knew each other when you were alive, but you don't know each other when you're dead. Kags couldn't help raising his voice. What the hell are you talking about? How can I be an accomplice to these people? Even though he said that, there was already a faint cold sweat on his forehead. Si fucking suddenly united with Lotbar and Kuchimu to remove him from the position of leader, and even Chris didn't turn to him this time. This incident caught him off guard, and he was already very flustered. Who knows, there will be more troublesome things. The most important thing is that he even kept this matter from Chris. How did Si fucking know? Facing the eyes of everyone, Kags gritted his teeth and sneered, do you want to transfer your hatred to me? I have devoted myself to the evolutionary world all these years, but in the end I will still be slandered by you. Tell me, what good is it that I am an associate with such a villain? The senior executives of the Evolved Alliance couldn't help saying, Miss Si, is there a misunderstanding about this matter? It is true that Kags was at fault for running for the head of the Yin family, but he did do a lot for the evolutionists and won a lot of benefits. Chris didn't speak, his eyes locked on Cargos tightly. Of course it was because you were afraid that my father and uncle would take your place. Si fucking smiled slightly. It happened that the revenge organization came to you at that time. I don't know what benefits they gave you, at least one it is to help you stabilize the position of the leader. But it should be more than this one. There is a greater benefit. I don't know what it is yet. This is a benefit that even the veterans of the Intercontinental Research Institute and the Eternal Academy cannot refuse. Kags laughed back angrily, it's just nonsense, come and arrest her. But no one moved. Ex-leader, you seem to have forgotten that I have evidence to say such things. I fucking knocked on the computer again. The photo on the screen changed to a picture of Kags and members of the Revenge organization toasting and drinking together. Kag's complexion changed drastically. The Great Elder shook his body. It turned out to be a combination of inside and outside. The blood feud of his Yin family actually has his own hands and feet. By the way, I forgot to say that I really want to choose the patriarch, but another purpose is to lure you out. I fucking said unhurriedly, otherwise, you have been shrinking back, how could you have been killed? Kag's pupils shrank sharply. You. A few days ago, we fought outside, and these people died too quickly to be witnessed by the Yin family. I fucking smiled coldly. Today is just a good day to use your blood to commemorate the death of dozens of people from my Yin family. Spirit in the sky. Boom. I fucking moved suddenly. She moved extremely fast, clenched her palms into fists, and immediately attacked cargoes. There was a series of explosions in the air. Cages are not fuel-efficient lamps either. He reacted quickly, shouted, and immediately changed the space around him. In the next second, it had already appeared outside the Yin family. I fucking also left with him. A large group of people in the conference hall were left looking at each other. There are even many people who have not reacted to this sudden change. What is this? Odile frowned slightly. Is he so strong? Kags has been able to sit firmly as the leader of the Evolved Alliance for more than 20 years, so his strength is naturally not weak. His pedigree is S rank, and his actual combat ability was also trained in Eternal Academy. It is also a member of the Eternal List. There is also news that he has long been an ultimate S-level evolutionary, but there has been no definite information. Cages is extraordinary, I'll help her. Kuchimu Minjio stood up. Just wait. She hadn't stepped forward yet, as if she knew what she was thinking. I fucking's voice came from afar. Don't follow, Minjio and Uncle, you protect the others. Ao and Chris returned to the Evolutionary Alliance to eliminate the minions of the Revenge organization. Chris grimaced, I'll go right away. Kags has been in office for 20 years, and even though his authority has been transferred down, he still has some loyal subordinates. No wonder he always felt that something was wrong with cargoes these days. He turned to the Revenge organization so early. Chris, don't be sad. Odile comforted him again. Look, you have found Baiyu Egwang, and you have also ascended to the position of leader. You have both career and love. Chris gritted his teeth and smiled. Odile, one day I will kill you sooner or later. Here, Kags is fleeing frantically. But suddenly, he only felt that the space was blocked, and he couldn't use his ability to leave here. Space system evolution. And helpers. But he didn't even see where his attacker was. Kags gritted his teeth. You guys forced me. He suddenly pulled out a needle, pierced it against his arm, and pushed the liquid inside. Shhhhhhh. There was blood mist on Kag's body, and the heat was boiling. Crack. The space shattered at this moment, and Kags kept running eastward. There is the direction of Liberty Island. Brother Ninth, I fucking chased after him, his eyes fixed, like those people that day. He used some kind of drug that can stimulate genes, and now his strength can explode to such a high level in a short period of time level. Even if it lasted only a quarter of an hour, it was enough for cargoes to run a long way. But the price is high. It is very likely that the evolutionary lineage will disappear completely. In severe cases, the meridian will be broken. I fucking's fox eyes narrowed. It seems that he was driven to a desperate situation. She was right in her estimation. Uzion nodded slightly, and stretched out her arms around her waist. Let's go. The space between the two of them also changed rapidly. When Cages ran away, he looked back. He snorted and laughed. If you want to catch me, wait for the next life. As long as he arrives at the general office of the Revenge Organization, the Lord must have a way to save him. He still has to report the information. Getting closer to Liberty Island, Cags also relaxed. And at this moment, a loud shout exploded in his ears. Where to run? Buzz. Time stood still suddenly. Cag's body shook violently. In just 0.1 second, he got rid of the constraints of time. But in a duel between masters, 0.01 second is enough to decide life and death. Sci-fi and Uzion, one in front of the other, completely blocked the way for Cags to escape. The space is also completely blocked. In terms of blood, Uzion also has absolute suppression of Cags. Cags turned pale in shock. Time stands still. You are Furuohwa. Know me, I have some knowledge. Mrs. Huo slowly came out of the darkness. If you dare to go to Liberty Island to find rescuers, I have been waiting for you for a long time. Ching Ching even predicted where you would run away, and you came just in time. When Sci-fi confirmed that Cargos was a member of the Vengeance Organization, she had already contacted Mrs. Huo in advance to deploy at the border of Free State. Cags took a step back, his face full of disbelief. He looked at Sci-fi with trembling eyes, and let out a heart-piercing scream. You are Miss Huo's family. Yin Baikon's marriage partner back then was Mrs. Huo's daughter. The 10 Yin families combined are no match for the Huo family, so why is Sci-fi obsessed with being the head of the Yin family? Cages couldn't understand it at all. But if he hadn't been impatient to help Yin Yongzi seize the position of the head of the Yin family, wouldn't he be exposed now? Guess is right, but there is no reward. Sci-fi flexed his wrist. Didn't you always want to know my evolutionary ability? Then try your own evolutionary ability. She raised her hand, and said slowly under Cag's frozen eyes, I just used it, and I'm not very used to it yet. Boom. The space collapsed instantly. Evolver ability. Copy. Addition on the 5th day. Ching Ching, obediently place a bowl to collect monthly tickets. If you have a monthly pass, vote for our cute and cute King King QVQ. Ching Ching needs a monthly pass very much. The Q reading is almost 4,000, everyone give it a try. Ching Ching has been laying out the layout. I don't know if any babies can see it. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 788. Space collapse is Cargo's favorite method. He used this method to kill many people who resisted him. But now, when this method was used on himself, he felt the torment and collapse of being on the verge of death. Cag's expression completely changed. His face twisted, and he lost his voice. This is impossible. How could Sci-fi possess his evolutionary ability? Cag suddenly remembered something. That was many years ago. He once went to the headquarters of the Revenge Organization and overheard the conversation of several high-level officials. Said that they finally eradicated the third confidant. The reason why the third confidant has to be eliminated, even the soul and body, is because the ability of this confidant is copying. As long as it is the evolutionary ability that Ta has seen, Ta can basically copy it. But of course, such an evolutionary ability against the sky naturally has certain limitations. At that time, Cages didn't pay much attention to it. He has indeed seen evolutionaries with similar abilities, but their abilities are very mediocre. What if there is an evolutionary who can copy the abilities of other evolutionaries one by one and exert greater power according to his own bloodline? Isn't that a walking god-slaying machine? But now. Copy. Really copy. Cag's expression became more and more frightened. Aren't you dead? Sci-fi's eyes narrowed, and he chuckled lightly. Sure enough, it's you too. Impossible, Cages fell into a state of madness and hysteria. How can you live after death? You can't come back alive. He wants to report. He must report this big event. As long as the headquarters of the revenge organization takes action, even the Holy Light Tribunal will collapse half the sky. Sci-fi saw his thoughts at a glance, and said lightly, "Will I give you this chance?" Boom. The space collapse continues, and the dimensions are distorted accordingly. What? Kags let out a shrill scream. Coupled with Uzion blocking the space beside him, he had no way to escape, and could only watch his body being crushed. The leader of a generation of Evolutionary Alliance has just fallen. Sci-fi stepped back a few steps, and his complexion turned slightly pale. The battle with Kags exhausted her strength. With quick eyes and quick hands, Uzion grabbed her waist in time. Ching ching. He sighed, "Don't impose everything on yourself." "How could it be?" Sci-fi blinked. "Because you're here, I feel relieved to hand over my back, and that's why I use my abilities so recklessly." Uzion was slightly helpless. "He will coax me." Ching ching. Mrs. Huo breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the two fell to the ground. "Are you all right?" "Grandma, I'm fine, I'm just a little tired." Sci-fi poured himself a bottle of water and breathed a sigh of relief. "It's been resolved, Grandma, thank you for coming here in time to fix the time. This is what I should do, but..." Mrs. Huo was worried. The leaders of the Evolutionary Alliance are all members of the Vengeance Organization, which is really worrying. Sci-fi's eyes were fixed. "Grandma, you go back to Huo's house first, and then deploy your forces secretly. We must make adequate preparations." Mrs. Huo's expression was also solemn. "Grandma knows." On the other side, the headquarters of the Evolved Alliance. As Sci-fi expected, this time they caught Cargos by surprise. And Kags is too conceited, thinking that he has not been discovered for more than 20 years, and he will not be in the future. He also didn't explain other precautionary measures to his confidants at all. Therefore, when Chris and Odile rushed back with the escort, they just caught Cargos' henchmen in one go. In addition to the Yin family, there were many advanced evolutionaries who were also killed by Kags and his team. "Say, why are you doing this?" Chris gritted his teeth. "This is cannibalism." "What the hell are you doing?" "Young leader, you are really kind, you don't know anything." A confidant looked at him and smiled strangely. "It's useless, the holy day is here, so what if you are an S-level evolutionary? You will die, all of you will die. Why don't you join us as soon as possible?" Blood suddenly appeared from the corner of his mouth, and his body trembled violently. Chris' expression changed suddenly. He stepped forward suddenly and reached out to grab the man's neck. But the action was still one step too late. A line of blood suddenly appeared on the man's neck. Then the body slowly broke apart. There was no sound for an instant. Odile, who saw the scene in her eyes, also changed abruptly. She has always been dissolute, and doesn't pay much attention to everything. But this scene made Odile, who is known as the Black Swan, also feel terrified. Dead Chris was silent for a moment, then asked slowly, "What is the holy day?" he said. Odile brushed her hair and said casually, "Didn't he say it? It's our death." "Chris. Is this what he asked?" He was really worried that one day he couldn't bear it and would kill Odilia. After dealing with Kargs, Sci-fi and Uzion returned to Yin's house. Kukaki Minjiu got up. "Everything is normal." Sci-fi nodded slightly. "Thank you, I guess you Deadwood and Lotbar's family must have been infiltrated, you should go back and clean it up." "That's right." The head elder of the Kukaki family had an ugly face. "I have also lost a few good seedlings in my Kukaki family over the years. I always thought it was an accident, but now it seems that it was all caused by the Revenge Organization. There are footprints of revenge organizations inside and outside Freedom Island. Arrogant, but also terrifying." "Okay." Kuchimu Minjiu nodded. I'll go back right away, be careful yourself. The Lotbar and Cookaki families both left the Yin family. The Yin family was still immersed in grief. Si raised his head and said slowly, "Elder, everyone, although the people who killed the Yin family back then are dead, they were just ordered by others, and we still have a tough battle to fight." Ching Ching is right. Yin Yaonian's eyes were heavy. Everyone must cheer up. The great elder wiped away his tears, and choked out a sob. Everything is respected by the patriarch. All hatred must be repaid. Uncle, continue to train the other members. Si nodded towards Yin Yaonian. I'm going to rest for a while. Okay, no problem, Yin Yao said in a young voice. Thank you for your hard work, Ching Ching. The next day, early in the morning, Si discussed with Odile, Cookaki Minjio and Chris about the plan to clean the evolutionary world from top to bottom, and must eradicate all the minions of the Avengers that are rooted in it. After the discussion, the four of them went to the Yin family's cell to interrogate Yin Yongzi. Patriarch, didn't you come here just now? The chief guard was very surprised. Why did you come back suddenly? What is your order? Si paused with his hand pressing the door. I've been here. Yes, the chief guard was very confused. Just 5 minutes ago, you said that you would interrogate Miss Yin Yongzi yourself, so you took her away just now. It is also said that Miss Yin Yongzi's current evolutionary ability is relatively dangerous, and her emotions have fallen into a riot again. It is easy to create diseases and hurt others, so she must be strictly guarded. We have not relaxed for a moment. Without your order, even Mr. Yaonian cannot approach. Si eyes were dark. I do have such thoughts. The chief guard's expression changed, and he panicked. Isn't that you, the patriarch? But she obviously. Pupil prints, fingerprints, and all other system tests have passed. Even words and deeds, there is no difference. Si let out a breath slowly. It's not me, but I know who it is. Transformers. A super evolutionary who can perfectly copy other people's appearance, pupil lines, fingerprints, and even memories. After not coming out for so long, she almost forgot about this old friend. Very good. 100 votes to break 4,000. It's the last day of the double monthly ticket. Everyone who still has tickets, vote for Ching Ching, rush. I have laid the groundwork for this shapeshifter in chapter 21, and it finally came out. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Ching Qian. Chapter 789. You stayed with us just now, and you definitely wouldn't come to the cell. Odile was also taken aback. That means a person who looks exactly like you came here and took Yin Yongzi away. She reacted instantly, her pupils shrank. It's her. Cookaki Minjio's brows and eyes became even colder. Transformers. Chris lost his voice slightly. She actually went to the Revenge Organization. Like lightning, shapeshifter is just a title. The shapeshifter's real name is Valencia Swan. And that title perfectly describes her evolutionary abilities. She can transform into anyone she has ever met, and perfectly replicate pupil lines, fingerprints. She has a strong ability to imitate and has an innate talent for acting. This ensures that she will not be detected when she transforms into someone else. If she gets blood or other DNA tissues, she can also copy other people's memories through genes. Even though Valencia is not a combat evolutionary, her ability can be called against the sky. Because she can easily make the alliance that was originally the same enemy suddenly become suspicious and eventually fall apart. Si clenched his hands slowly. It's her. Her abilities are actually very similar to Valencia's. It's just that what she copied was the ability of an evolutionary, while Valencia copied the appearance. She also played against Valencia. The opponent's escape method is extremely strong, and he can change various races at will, and he cannot be caught. I'm in trouble. Odile's voice sank. She hasn't shown up for a long time. I thought she might have practiced in the Eternal Continent, but I didn't expect to join the revenge organization. You guys stay here, just in case it's a plan to divert the tiger away from the mountain. Sci-fi was very calm. Brother Jew and I went out to arrest people. The revenge organization even dispatched Valencia, so their plan must be getting closer. Kuchimu Minjio looked solemn. Be careful all the way. This moment. Sci-fi, what do you want to do? Yin Yongzi's eyes were full of panic, her voice trembling. The Yin family does not allow members of the direct line to kill each other. I am still S rank. If you really kill me, you will definitely not be able to sit firmly as the head of the Yin family. This place is getting more and more remote, and there is no third person in sight. After all, Yin Yongzi has no fighting power. The scene of Sci-fi dismantling her battle armor by violent means was still vivid in her memory, which made her tremble all over uncontrollably. Hearing these words, the girl walking in front stopped. She turned her head, and an inexplicable smile floated on her lips. The evolutionary ability is good, but the brain is too useless, and the ability to control emotions is also poor. No wonder they lost when fighting for the head of the family. Tell me, do I want you to live? Yin Yongzi couldn't bear it anymore. You have already won the position of patriarch, do you still have to mock me? The girl crossed her arms and looked at her leisurely. Yin Yongzi, you are the only healing evolutionary. You were so powerful that you could easily create countless high-level evolutionaries and become a king on your own. Why did you limit your vision to a small Yin family? Gene. Genes are the key factors that determine the ability of an evolutionary. Over the years, the Revenge organization has also invested a lot of research on this, and has created countless potions. No. You're not Sci-fi. Yin Yongzi's face suddenly changed. She wouldn't show your expression, nor would she say such words. As soon as she said those words, the appearance of the girl in front of her changed. It is no longer an oriental face, but a face with a strong sense of mixed blood. The woman has three-dimensional facial features and beautiful long golden hair. Her skin was extremely fair, glowing faintly in the sun. But Yin Yongzi was not in the mood to appreciate this beauty at all. Her pupils dilated with fear. You, who are you, who are you? Let me introduce myself, I'm Valencia Swan. The woman nodded slightly, showing a smile. You can also call me a shapeshifter, although this title is really not very nice. Are you a shapeshifter? Yin Yongzi couldn't help taking a step back. What the hell are you? I'm here to help you. Valencia raised her hand and gently stroked her face. If Sci-fi doesn't come back, will the head of the Yin family fall into someone else's hands? Yin Yongzi gritted her teeth and said, of course not. If Sci-fi doesn't come back, everything in the Yin family will be hers. Now she has lost all hearts, like a mouse crossing the street. It was all caused by Sci-fi. Yeah, Valencia smiled, you're just not as good at fighting as she is. She took Yin Yongzi's hand again, pushed a reagent bottle into his palm, and said softly, with it, your evolutionary ability can get a qualitative leap. Don't you want to create cancer out of thin air? Yin Yongzi pursed her lower lip, still very vigilant. What do you want to do by doing this? What do you want? Of course it's helping you improve your strength. Valencia smiled gracefully. Aren't you happy that you're helping you get rid of the people you hate? Yin Yongzi naturally does not believe that there will be pies in the sky. But now, she is really desperate. Rather than being suppressed by Sci-fi for a lifetime, it is better to give it a go. Yin Yongzi looked fierce, and drank the medicine in the reagent bottle in one gulp. The moment the potion entered, she felt a powerful and uncontrollable force erupting from her body. Yin Yongzi was extremely pleasantly surprised. Her evolutionary ability has evolved. She can change the cells at will, make the cells cancerous, and create cancer. In this way, she is not without attack power. Look, I didn't lie to you, did I? Valencia smiled again. Go and solve what you should solve. If she can survive, maybe she can propose to that adult to accept Yin Yongzi. After Yin Yongzi left, Valencia's complexion suddenly turned pale. She gritted her teeth, and her body trembled violently, as if some cold wave was rushing up. Valencia spat out another mouthful of blood. She let out a breath slowly. It's strange, the consumption is too much this time. It's not that she hasn't changed the appearance of other S-rank evolutionaries, but she has never felt such a great consumption. Her ability is indeed against the sky, but it is impossible to have no limit. She can no longer turn into any evolutionary in a short time. But her goal was achieved. Valencia walked towards the crowd calmly and naturally. Soon she turned into an ordinary person and disappeared into the vast crowd. Here, Sci-fi and Uzian have already started a joint investigation. She also quickly passed the information that the shapeshifter appeared and became a member of the revenge organization to Yunying and others. Valencia has become the current #1 enemy. Hello? Xiaju, don't worry, Yujian said. When the second child beat her up last time, I imprinted a mental imprint on her body in advance. She is now on her way back to Yin's house. She must be going for you. Okay, Sci-fi heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, you are here, third senior sister. The spiritual imprint of a spiritual evolutionary is equivalent to some kind of personal monitoring. Through the mental imprint, Yuejian can quickly determine Yin Yongzi's location. Leave Valencia to us. Yujian narrowed his eyes. My fifth brother and I will look for it, but we won't find it if you don't believe me. Valencia is good at change. Coincidentally, they don't see people with their eyes either. After the call ended, Sci-fi raised his head. Ninth brother, let's go. Uzian nodded slightly. He put his arms around her waist. In the next second, the two returned to Yin's house. Indeed, as Yujian said, Yin Yongzi did not take this opportunity to escape, but came back openly. After seeing Sci-fi, not only did she not show timidity, but she became domineering. Today is different. She has been able to modify a person's cells at will, and it is possible to make them age and die immediately. Without even hesitation, Yin Yongzi directly used her evolutionary ability on Sci-fi. Visible to the naked eye, the girl's complexion turned pale. Feel the pain, Yin Yongzi smiled maliciously. Sci-fi, I want you to kneel down and kowtow to beg for mercy, or I will let you die in front of them right now. You're still a star, right? If your fans know you're an old woman, will they still like you? What else do you have to say? Sci-fi's expression remained unchanged. She pierced 2 silver needles into her wrist. She looked up at Yin Yongzi. What nonsense are you talking about? Yin Yongzi froze suddenly. I do have something to say, Sci-fi said unhurriedly. Actually, I am a ghost doctor. So, no use. The double monthly pass will end tomorrow morning, and babies who still have tickets can vote for Ching Ching today in case they expire. I really can't hold it anymore. I'll stick a plaster and rest for a while. I don't know if I can add more updates, so I won't make a guarantee. I will add it as soon as I recover. P.S. The surrounding activities are about to end. The last activity, after this event, the remaining badge-colored paper will be given out in the form of a lottery within the group at the end of the event. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 790. As early as when he knew Yin Yongzi's evolutionary ability, Sci-fi had already anticipated such a day in advance. Yin Yongzi directly changes the cells of the human body to create diseases. This is definitely the ability of a super evolutionary. From this point of view, Valencia has indeed belonged to the revenge organization. And she also brought Yin Yongzi medicine that can stimulate the evolutionary's ability. Otherwise, With Yin Yongzi's current strength, it would be impossible to achieve this step. Yin Yongzi's expression changed. Before she could react, the next second, she was thrown in front of Sci-fucking. The body was forced to bend down, and both knees hit the ground hard. Yu Xian's expression was indifferent, and even her hands were useless, so she easily controlled the space Yin Yongzi was in. Yin Yongzi's ears were buzzing, and she couldn't understand Sci-fucking's words for a while. Ghost Doctor. How long have the rumors of ghost-handed heavenly doctors existed? It has been at least 10 years, but how old is Sci-fucking? Could it be that he has been serving the world since he was 10 years old? She won't believe it. I'm sorry, I've taken a lot of poison, Sci-fu said condescendingly. 100 poisons won't invade. Your little trick is useful to other people, but it's useless to me. Indeed, at the first moment, she felt a slight pain. But her blood was already highly poisonous. After changing her body again, she took another poison after another under the conditioning of the Lord of Ghost Valley. After a few months, I suffered a lot, but it was worth it. Who gave you the courage to run back by yourself? Sci-fucking knelt down and patted Yin Yongzi's face. Valencia asked you to come back. It seems that she really just wanted you to make me mess up. But if she hadn't been trained by the Lord of Ghost Valley, I'm afraid she would really hurt Yin Yongzi's poisonous hands. Yin Yongzi's pupils shrank suddenly. How do you know Valencia? What on earth do you? She suddenly discovered that she didn't know anything about Sci-fucking at all. She only knew Sci-fucking's side as a public figure. Other than what Sci-fucking voluntarily disclosed, she didn't know anything about it. I can't kill you, can't I kill other people? Yin Yongzi's face twisted. You care so much about the Yin family, so I killed the rest of the Yin family. I see how you can be the head of the Yin family. Yun 11, the great elder who was chasing after heard this, said in surprise and anger, what are you doing? You messing around. The revenge organization was the mastermind of the Yin family tragedy, killing so many members of the Yin family. It's not that Yin Yongzi has no relatives who died at the hands of the other party. How can he still rely on the other party? The great elder couldn't believe it. Not only did Yin Yongzi not repent, but he became more and more violent. Yin Yongzi froze for a moment. Grandpa, I. Don't call me Grandpa. The great elder trembled all over and roared, do you know what you are doing? Elder, she is your own granddaughter. Sci-fu tilted his head, nodded and said, you have the absolute right to dispose of her. In an instant, the great elder seemed to have aged many years. After a long time, he said in a trembling voice, then please ask the patriarch to let her have a good rest. Sci-fucking frowned. She drank the potion from the vengeance organization, and she couldn't last long. Valencia lied to her, but it's a pity. Yin Yongzi's evolutionary ability is indeed unique. If it can be cultivated more and become the ultimate evolutionary, it will definitely be a great strength of the Yin family. But she didn't know how to use it, and she let herself go to the end. You are lying, Yin Yongzi screamed, hysterical. Valencia is helping me improve my strength. You are jealous of me. Jealous that my evolutionary ability is stronger than yours. But what she said was very unfounded. Because she already felt that her body was starting to heat up, and there was some kind of heart-piercing pain rolling up continuously. Almost crushed her whole body. What? Yin Yongzi let out a shrill scream. At the same time, bloodstains began to appear on her body. Immediately afterwards, the bloodstains burst open, and the flesh was ripped apart in an instant. The great elder's expression changed greatly. How could this happen? It's not your own strength, it will be like this if you can't control it. Sci-fucking stared into Yin Yongzi's eyes. Do you really think that there is a pie in the sky? Yin Yongzi was speechless at the moment. She raised her hand, but it fell powerlessly. Can only speak with mouth. Save me, save me, save. The sound disappeared at this moment. Yin Yongzi fell down heavily, without a sound. Such a scene made the Yin family tremble. The method of the revenge organization is so terrifying. No matter how you say it, Yin Yongzi is still an S-level evolutionary, so she just disappeared. The great elder staggered under his feet. After all, he stepped forward and grabbed Yin Yongzi's body. Everything is sin. Sci-fi tilted his head and said solemnly, Transformers have appeared. In order to strengthen our defenses, we must have our own way of identifying people. Everyone, get ready. Everyone said in unison, yes, Patriarch. In the afternoon, Sci-fi and Uzian returned to the Great Xia Empire. The Yin family is ruled by Yin Yaonian and Tan Jingmo, who came to help. Back at the villa, Uzian suddenly called her, Ching Ching. Huh, Sci-fi raised his head, what's the matter? He lowered his head and said unhurriedly, I didn't know you were still Miss Baiyu Egwang. Sci-fi. Is this a questioning of the teacher? Uzian smiled, and asked again, look at the face. No, Sci-fi said immediately, I swear this time I really saved him because he blocked my way and was dying. Well, I believe you. Uzian patted her head, paused, and said in a low voice, it's just that I will be afraid. Sci-fi blinked, will Mr. Yu be afraid too? In her impression, he is always calm and composed, with a calm atmosphere. Mount Tai will not change color even if it collapses in front of you. It was hard to imagine anything in this world that could shake him. Of course, Uzian smiled lightly, for example, when you personally take risks, for example. He fell silent suddenly. Like when even he can't do anything about it? Whether it's the Zhang family or Ji Chunyuan. According to historical records, Emperor Yin's life was rarely defeated. He is a well-deserved god of war. It can also be seen that there are too many places where he failed. Until this life, he often wondered if he could solve the war in Zizhu one step faster and arrive at Yanmen in Bizhu even an hour earlier. Would he be able to save Zhang Haiping? Don't be afraid. Sci-fi patted him on the shoulder very righteously, I will cover you and give you enough sense of security. Okay, Uzian hummed, you rest first, and I will watch you sleep. Sci-fi hugged the quilt and went to bed slowly, I'll go to sleep first. She has been running around for the past few days, coupled with excessive energy consumption, she really needs to rest. As soon as he got into bed, Sci-fi tilted his head, only to see Uzian take out a flute. She was a little surprised, why haven't I seen you blow it? It's been a long time since I played, and I'm a bit unfamiliar. Uzian looked at her, just don't feel disgusted, girl. I don't dislike it, I don't dislike it. Sci-fi blinked, in this way, if I have any performances in the future, I can recruit you as a young man, saving money. He picked up the flute and smiled faintly, it's an honor. Amidst the melodious sound of the flute, the girl quickly fell asleep. She really deserves the word beautiful when she's asleep. It's not like when he first met her, he even had a defensive posture when sleeping. It's just that she was still shrunk into a small ball. Very insecure pose. The song is over. Uzian got up and pressed the corner of the quilt for her, thanks for your hard work, Ching Ching. Not only the evolutionary world, but also the Great Xia Empire began rapid deployment. As a huge empire guarded by 5 dragon veins, it has become the safest place. Your Majesty, forces have been deployed in the 4 states of East, South, West, and North. Mo Yan warmly clasped his fists, according to your instructions, a large array of mountain protection has been established with the dragon veins as the center. As long as the dragon veins do not fall, the Great Xia Empire will last forever. Okay, Uzian was studying ink, according to the newly drawn drawings, build a city at the border again, with all the hidden weapons. Mo Yanwen nodded, yes, your Majesty. After Uzian finished studying the ink, he picked up the pen and began to outline on the paper. Mo Yanwen watched and smiled, It's been a long time since His Majesty painted. What Yu Zion painted this time was not a landscape painting, but figure painting. In the past, Yu Zion had done several paintings, all of which were the beautiful rivers and mountains in the 5 states of the Great Xia. The same painting materials have different flavors in his works. After all, he is also the only one who sees the future life from the past life 1,500 years ago. Mo Yanwen didn't say anything, just stood quietly watching him draw. Soon he saw that it was 2 people. One is Emperor Yin, who has removed his battle armor. The other was a very young boy. Mo Yanwen was startled. Does the person drawn by His Majesty not have a name in history? Ancient painters did not have too high a skill to do exactly the same as modern sketches. But it will also be described by capturing people's appearance characteristics and clothing. But Mo Yanwen has never seen the boy drawn by Yu Zion in any history book. The river of history is too long. Those who can leave their names must be peerless geniuses. However, there are still many people with outstanding abilities who have been submerged in it. This does not deny their dedication. It was never recorded in the history books, but Yin Huangji still draws and paints himself. Who is this? Yu Zion hummed lightly. He swiped the ink and made the last stroke. A boy leaps onto the page. Lifelike. Next to it, he wrote the poem he often wrote. Chi said no clothes, and the same robe as the sun. Who says there is no clothes? Wear the battle robe with you. Yu Zion smiled lightly, and said in a low voice, Wei, my military advisor. Good morning. The double monthly pass is the last 2 hours. If you still have a monthly pass, vote for Ching Ching and His Majesty, otherwise it will expire. Vote and click to see His Majesty, who is about to score 4 goals. No matter how cautious people are, they will lose their horses in terms of poor information. It's so pitiful. I must be my real mother. It's already -5 degrees in Xi'an, and the drop in temperature doesn't give people any time to react. After having everything taken away, she returns as a god. Author, Qing Qian. Chapter 791. Mo Yanwen searched in his mind, and found that there was indeed no such a person in history. Generally speaking, there are 2 situations for people who have not been recorded in history. Or it was too powerful and took the initiative to erase his traces in history. Or it is unknown, and the historian does not know such a person. It seems to be the former one. Mo Yanwen thought for a moment, then smiled. For His Majesty to remember until now, this unclothed military advisor must be very outstanding, but it is a pity that I have not been able to see his demeanor. It's rare to have a confidant in life, Yu Zion said lightly. He is the only one. Hearing these words, Mo Yanwen's heart skipped a beat. It's too cold to be high. The higher the position, the harder it is to have caring people. A confidant and a confidant are the rarest things to come by. Mo Yanwen sighed softly. Yin Huang's 2 lives were very bitter, but fortunately he has a confidant and a beauty. Yu Zion didn't say anything else. After drying the ink, he carefully rolled up the scroll and put it on the bookshelf. I fucking slept for 3 days. When her consciousness returned to clarity, she smelled the faint fragrance of peach blossoms. 9th brother? Did you cook anything delicious? I fucking rubbed his eyes and sat up. Are you awake? Yu Zion was sitting at the tea table, pouring tea. Hearing the sound, she turned her head and looked at her with a frown. I woke up just right. I just made peach blossom cakes. The girl's fox eyes lit up instantly. She immediately threw off the quilt and jumped out of bed, ran to the table, picked up a piece of peach blossom cake and took a bite. It has a fight with Xiaolu's craftsmanship. After I fucking finished eating quickly, he took the second piece. Yu Zion reached out and patted her on the back. Eat slowly, no one will grab you. Drink a cup of tea slowly. The tea is also freshly brewed pure tea. I fucking took a sip, paused and said, I know, but I still want to study the blood of those people, so I have to eat faster. Tsukimi and Minamoto are still looking for Valencia. She couldn't relax for a moment. After finishing a plate of peach blossom crisps, Si fucking waved his hands. Ninth brother, I'm going to do the experiment. Uzion looked at her back and sighed, run slower. I know, Si fucking covered his ears, and ran away quickly. Why are you like my senior brother? Like an old father. The laboratory was built in the Kinjunmen, and it was specially established for the research of members of the Vengeance Organization. Lang Xian has arrived. After seeing Si fucking, a smile appeared on his cold face. Junior sister, it's been a long time since we did experiments together. Yes, Si fucking put on his gloves and said in a low voice, don't worry, it's still my own territory, I don't want to be bombed again. Lang Xian nodded. The Intercontinental Research Institute must have been infiltrated heavily. Si fucking's eyes were fixed. The two began to experiment. Fourth senior brother, look at the blood after they drank the medicine. Si fucking picked up a test tube and shook it. It's as corrosive as concentrated sulfuric acid. On the table was a metal plate corroded by blood, still steaming. Lang Xian said in a deep voice, it will also produce an explosive effect when fused with the blood of a normal evolutionary. Such blood in the body is simply some kind of time bomb. No matter how strong an evolutionary is, it is still a body of flesh and blood has become a dangerous product, and its life is indeed at the end. It's not as bad as I expected. Si fucking hummed, this drug can only improve the ability of an evolutionary in a short period of time, but those who know how to use drugs are just pawns of the revenge organization. Really high level, no one will use fatal things. Junior sister, I extracted some substances. Lang Xian looked at the screen and couldn't help frowning. The composition of substances cannot be found on the periodic table of elements. Si fucking narrowed his eyes, isn't it Earth's material? Meteorite. Among the theory of the birth and origin of the evolutionary, the meteorite theory is the most extensive. It is said that hundreds of years ago, several extraterrestrial meteorites fell on the Earth. These meteorites are very radioactive, radiating outward from the center of the crater. Many people died in the radiation area, and the survivors also had different mutations. After several rounds of elimination, an evolutionary with evolutionary genes finally appeared. These are the first evolutionaries. Also, because the uncertainty of evolutionary genes is higher, the abilities of evolutionaries are different. After hundreds of years have passed, the group of evolutionaries has also grown stronger and stronger. According to reliable data estimates, there are nearly 100 million evolutionaries in the world. However, less than 1% of the evolutionaries above B level accounted for, and A level is even rarer. Coupled with the high-tech weapons developed by the Intercontinental Research Institute, the evolutionary and ordinary people are still in a state of balance. Anyway, it's not something from the Earth, Lang Xian affirmed. I'll try to analyze it. After analyzing it, you can make the antidote, junior sister. Si fucking nodded. Fourth senior brother, please. The phone rings at this moment. It was Sang yanking. Si fucking pressed the answer button. Sister Sang. Hey, Ching Ching, this year you only have the variety show Great Summer Treasure, and the filming is almost over. Sang yanking said, just now Glenn sent out a notice that an art and cultural competition will be held throughout the world. I asked you if you want to participate. There is a high bonus, and it is said that Free State is responsible for distributing it. Let me ask you if you want to go. I won't go for the time being, I may have to rest for a while. Si fucking paused. Wait, Liberty Island. Lang Xian heard it, and immediately checked Liberty Island's intranet. Found that there is a new announcement on the official website. International top stars are sincerely invited to participate in this global feast. The organizer will send mysterious guests to participate, so stay tuned for your performance. Si fucking quickly reacted, luck. The revenge organization is not dead, but also wants to take this opportunity to continue to plunder Daxia's luck. If Daxia does not participate or loses a few games, his international prestige and reputation will be reduced, and his luck will definitely be greatly lost. The international games failed to succeed, and a new strategy was proposed. Sister sang, "I will participate, and sign up for all the events." I fucking smiled coldly, "I want to see what tricks they can play." Ah. Oh, Sang Yanking was taken aback, "You sound like you are about to go to the battlefield. I will sign up for you right away. This is a small thing for you. Just keep it close, don't scare others, we can talk about everything." After the call ended, I fucking held the phone with a cold expression. Lang Xian glanced at her worriedly, "Junior sister, leave the research to me, you still have more things to do." "Okay." I fucking breathed out slowly, "I'll contact Director Qin to speed up the filming of the remaining issues of Great Xia Treasure, and try to increase Daxia's influence. No one can covet Daxia's luck." "Junior sister, don't worry." Lang Xian smiled slightly, "I'm not good at fighting, but I'm still good at experimenting. I can't lose to the other guys. Lost in other things, this time he has to win a few rounds no matter what." After bidding farewell to Lang Xian, Si Fu went to Daxia Terrace. After discussing with Director Qin about the historical figures to be filmed in the next few episodes, she returned to the villa, entered the game cabin, and went to Daxia Dynasty to have a dialogue with Wen Changji across time and space. At 7 o'clock in the evening, accompanied by Mo Yanwen, Yu Xian came back. "Feng San is walking Xiao by in the yard." Yu Xian glanced at Feng San, "Where are you girls?" "Brother 9, Feng San immediately stood up straight. "Miss Si said that she went to see Wen Changji and had a long date, and then asked me to bring Miss Bai back from Master Xiaoyu. Miss Xiao Bai may have eaten too much, and needs to run more." Xiao Bai burped in a timely manner, and patted his fluffy belly. "It did eat too much at Xiaoyu's place, and it was full." Yu Xian paused, raised her eyebrows, "See Wen Changji. It's just, that poem Ju, elementary school students all recite his poems." Feng San suddenly realized something was wrong, and immediately changed his words, "Don't worry, ninth brother, these are all historical figures, only you are still alive. So don't be jealous. He didn't want to be sent to the far north again. Maybe this wave goes both ways? Press a two-way or your majesty. Let Ching Ching have the upper hand this time. I don't know if there are still 5 goals, so I will pay a moment of silence in advance. There are still a few hours for babies with monthly tickets to vote, otherwise the system will be cleared. It's starting to wrap up, see you in December."